Peace. How's it going, Patrick? ConservativeRap. And let's take a look at the financial news, what's happening economically. As you can see, Trump is going after the Fed. Amen. He really needs conkers on his side, if you think about it. So showing people the fraud is really step one. When you think about that investigation into Jerome Powell, right? Either he unknowingly, if you look at Trump's statement, he said either he unknowingly or knowingly committed fraud. And think about it. If they did it unknowingly, that means that they can't manage, right? They don't have the ability to. If he did it knowingly, that means he can't be trusted. So it's going to catch them either way. And the same fraud we're seeing in the different states like Minnesota is really the same fraud that's happening with the central bank system as a whole. And people are really getting hip to this. Let's take a quick look. This is Harmeet Dillon on X, and she's I like this lady. She's highly aware. Newsom scrambles to keep billionaires in California and vows to kill the same wealth tax. This is what she's referring to, right? After a swath of billionaires publicly announced that they're leaving the state of California over a proposed wealth tax, Governor Newsom went into a full-blown panic, vowing to stop the proposed tax, do what I have to do to protect the state. This will be defeated. There's no question in my mind, he said, of the measure he has long opposed over concerns that it would stifle innovation, as a growing list of tech CEOs have thrown their hands in the air and rage quit the state over mounting plans to separate them from their wealth, no different than Elon did a few years back. So here's Harmeet. He also vowed to cure homelessness as mayor of San Francisco. He also vowed to build the bullet train and balance the budget. This slick liar has never fulfilled his promises. It's time to move on. She's absolutely right. These people cannot be trusted. And in 2026, I think all of us are seeing the writing on the wall. Here's Cabot Phillips, also on X, about the fake news media. How CNN frames 6% inflation under Joe Biden versus 2.7 inflation under Trump. And this, let's just look at the time comparison. In 2023, quote unquote, U.S. inflation is still high, but it's falling. Last month's consumer price index measured 6%, down from January 6.4%. And now here we are in 2026. U.S. inflation remained at 2.7 in December, underscoring persistent cost of living challenges. So the bias is as clear as day. I mean, we all see it. And yeah, I mean, these people just simply cannot be trusted. Here's more from Trump on The Guardian. Trump hits back at JP Morgan's CEO's defense of the Federal Reserve. U.S. President says Jamie Dimon was wrong to suggest he was undermining independence of the central bank. Donald Trump has hit out at the JP Morgan boss, Jamie Dimon, saying the Wall Street executive was wrong to suggest he was undermining the independence of the Federal Reserve. And this is how criminals act, right? It's like, it's no different if you had a mafia. If you were exposing corruption and you went to the courts, the mafia would be in the courts too. They wouldn't like check each other. And it's the same thing with these banks and these central bank operatives. Let's move on to a more concrete example. Share this tab instead. Storm has arrived. President Trump just implied that Jerome Powell has potentially been committing fraud while the renovations to the Federal Reserve have been underway. He's got some problems. He's renovating a small building. It's the most expensive construction job in history, and it's only a renovation. I could have did that job for $25 million instead. Let's take a listen.
Senator Tom Tillis says that the subpoena, the grand jury subpoena to the Federal Reserve Chairman was a little excessive. What do you think about that?
Well, that's why Tom's not going to be a senator any longer, I guess, right?
Well, what do you think?
But I like Tom Tillis. He's a nice guy. But look, he's not going to be a senator any longer because of views like that. We have a bad Fed chairman. He's bad in a lot of different ways, but he's bad because his interest rates were too high. And today we had a great inflation report. And today we had a really great growth report. So we have great growth and low inflation. And we're doing very well.
Do you think there's going to be a rate cut, though?
I don't know. With this guy, you don't know. He's got some problems. But what he also did, he's renovating a small building. It's the most expensive construction job in history, and it's only a renovation. I could have done that job for $25 million. They're spending billions and billions of dollars. He either doesn't know what he's doing, or it's worse than that. And you know what I mean by what. So hopefully he'll be out of there soon.
Does that impact your timing on being in the Fed chair?
No.
When do you expect to do that now?
I don't know, sometime in the next.
Sometime in the next few weeks, he says. All right, so remember, if there's fraud, then naturally it's the same thing like anything you've seen with USAID. Then naturally what's needed is going to be an audit, just like in Minnesota, just like in Ohio. We'll be able to end the Fed in time as people come more into the fold of understanding how much we're actually being robbed. Lincoln had the greenbacks. JFK tried the silver certificate. Both presidents were taken out, unfortunately, and they already came after Trump with assassinations. So think about it. Wait until more information comes out down the line. If the Fed can't, it's just logic. If the Fed can't manage their own business, how could they manage the currency and economics of the United States? Liberation Day is really coming, and there's going to be a parallel economy superseding what they're doing. We're going to go out of the debt system that takes from the people into more of a productive, wealth generating system that builds for Americans. And if you look at what Trump is doing, in my mind, it's a masterful stroke of socio-political genius and economic genius on multiple battlefields simultaneously. What do you think? What do you see happening out there in the macroeconomic environment, and what stands to come for America as we enter into this golden age? Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share, and check me out at ConservativeRap.com for more. Thanks and take care.